The first thing I want to do is say, rest in peace, champ. And does it seem like to you that not only as humans, but especially as minorities and black minorities, we are losing some of our biggest, greatest influences on not just our culture, but on the world as a whole? We lost Prince, we lost Michael Jackson, and we lost Muhammad Ali as of yesterday, or day before yesterday. Yesterday. And these iconic figures did so much positivity, not only for our community, but as a whole for humanity. And yeah, they brought up the whole thing with Michael Jackson and supposedly being a pedophile. And that was never proven. And yeah, you say, well, why he pay people off? You know, some people don't want to go through stuff and want to have their name dragged through the mud and, you know, be vilified, and they'd just rather pay it off and get it over with. But one thing about that whole situation is that if Michael Jackson was a pedophile, why wasn't he ever registered as a sex offender? Why was he still allowed to have people bring their children around him? You know, etc. But I'm not going to go into this. It's not why. This is what I mean. It is kind of why, but I wanted to talk about Muhammad Ali, and I want to talk about today's athlete. Muhammad Ali did something that was monumental to me back in his days when athletes weren't making as much money as they make today. And whether he was a part of, you know, the Nation of Islam or whatever religion that he, you know, believed in and may have helped influence his decisions, he stood up for what was right. He stood up for equality. He stood up for humanity. He went to jail because he said he wasn't going to go to war and kill and fight someone who had never did anything to him. And he also, you know, spoke about, you know, what was going on in America with white and black relations. And, you know, he lost a lot of money, you know, in the midst of doing that. And I'm saying this to say today's athletes, to me, are suckers. And like I say, usually when I always preface when I say things like this, because I know they can be demeaning and can be, you know, taken as a diss. But when I say stuff, because I don't write anything down, I'm not coming off a script, I'm coming from my heart first off, and I'm coming off the top of my head. And it's coming from a loving place because I love humans and I love my black people. But it really disheartens me when you have athletes today who are making millions and millions and millions of dollars and have this influence over so many people, not just black people, you know, white people. It's not, the Steph Curry is just not a hero or iconic figure to minorities. I see more white young kids wearing Steph Curry's jersey than anyone else. The same thing with LeBron and so forth. But like when we have things like Eric Gardner, you know, Trayvon Martin, you know, wearing a fucking t-shirt saying that I can't breathe, what, that's your stance? And then when they ask you about it, you say that you don't want to speak on this or you don't understand. Come on, man. No. And you so worried about losing sponsors and money that you will basically, and I'm saying this, you'll sell your race out. You'll let injustice exist for $1. So you saying that money is more important than you than justice and humanity and especially your people. Because you all have platforms where you can change the landscape of all this stuff. If athletes really wanted to, they can step up and change the way police officers police, minorities. Change the way news is broadcasted on behalf of whites and minorities. Because all they had to do was stand up and stop, just like the whole thing with the Clippers. You niggas turned your jerseys inside out as a stance against Donald Sterling. The whole NBA, including the white players, should not have played another game until that man was gone. Yeah, he ended up leaving, but look, he still gained billions of dollars. And yeah, you're on a contract, so if you sign these contracts, and you see these clauses in these contracts telling you that you can't speak on this or why would you sign a contract like that? Silencing your word, knowing, and the people that have you sign these contracts, they know exactly what they're doing. And they know the power that you have. And it's sad that you don't know that. And you assign these contracts and sign away your rights to speak out, your rights to be a difference. And what they're saying to you is all we want you to do is entertain us. We don't want you doing anything else, nigga. And that's the way I think they actually look at it. You can call it what you want to call it. No, you all have a platform. And you all can change the way things are done. Muhammad Ali went to jail because he wasn't going to go to the army. He missed out on millions of dollars because he stood up for what he thought was right. And then he came back when he got out and was able to do the same thing. So what's wrong with you all, putting these owners and sponsors in corporate America feet to the fire? What's wrong with that? I mean, you give away money, millions of dollars to colleges, donate back to your alma mater and all this other bullshit, and they closing schools in the inner city. And fuck all this, I got a foundation. Your foundation and your money, good. But most of your money goes to the people who have run that foundation. It helps fund their things, so most of the money doesn't even get to whatever the foundation is for. It doesn't even get to the consumers or the people who it's for. If a school is closing, or like in Chicago right now, they don't have money for K-12. How easy would it be for Derrick Rose or whoever? You all get together, open up your own schools, hire your own teachers. And then you force the league and the owners to kick in some money. And if you don't kick in no money, we not playing. And it can't be all in the superstars. You can't be afraid to say that, well, if I don't play against somebody. No. There's certain players in the league that I don't give a damn who you get. It ain't going to replace him. Who you going to get to replace Steph Curry if he decides to stop playing basketball? Who you going to get to replace LeBron James? Even I don't like that motherfucker. I don't like him as a basketball player. I love him as a person. I take that back. Who you going to get to replace LeBron James? Nobody. Who could have you got to replace Kobe Bryant? Nobody. And Kobe Bryant and Michael Jordan, because I don't know too much about Kobe Bryant and what he's planning on doing with his money. But one thing I know about Michael Jordan is this motherfucker makes millions, billions of dollars off of shoes and been doing it. And we go and we buy his shoes, we shoot and kill each other, and this motherfucker does nothing for us. Absolutely. He doesn't speak out. He doesn't speak out about any injustice. So you telling me what, Michael Jordan, you classed out the black race, motherfucker? You look in the mirror, you black as hell. And you come from black people, African Americans. I don't know what kind of clauses you got in your contract. I don't know what they got holding over your head that they might bring out if you open, but who gives a fuck, Mike? Sometimes I dream that he is me. I want to be like Mike. Mike, do us a favor. Dream and be like Muhammad Ali. Stand up for something. Take your money. You got billions of dollars. Get some of your friends together. Help build up the inner city. Go visit the kids. Go visit the people in the inner city. Instead of standing out to the white folks or in corporate America, doing something, we dying out here. Do you see what's going on in the city where you played? And you can say, yeah, fuck them kids, they doing this and that. And sometimes I say to myself, I say, fuck them kids. But in the re-education and the reprogramming, not everybody's going to make it. I can say that. Because some people are going to be hell-bent on doing what it is that they want to do because they think this is the only way. I don't want to hear nothing else. So then, so forth, then you're not going to make it. But there's a lot of people not even giving it a chance or getting a chance. Muhammad Ali was the greatest sports figure that we ever had. Not only was he good at his craft, but he stood up for humanity. He stood up for what was right. And he's going to be missed. Even in the years where he wasn't even able to talk and this and that. I mean, he can go anywhere. And people didn't love Muhammad Ali because he boxed. You do realize that, right? They love Muhammad Ali because of what he stood for. And what do you all stand for? You make your money, your millions and millions of dollars, and you keep a hush on injustice because you don't want to fuck up your money, man. You see what they did in Missouri? You see what those athletes did? And you all saw that and ignored it? That's the blueprint. It was shown to you. And what are you doing about it? I don't want to make this a long video, but what I do want to say is rest in peace, Muhammad Ali. You are loved and you will be missed. Who are we going to have to follow you to do some of the things that you have done and that we can talk about from years to years? Because I don't know. Because I don't know nobody. I don't see anyone. Tiger Woods. Shaq. All of you all who are minorities. Sometimes it's really sad when you see white people saying more about black social ills than you do our own people. You have a platform. Do Muhammad Ali a favor. Do him some justice in his death. Use it. Use it for the betterment of your community and the betterment of humanity in general. I'm out of here.